Hey y'all, welcome back to No One Knows What They're Doing. Today we're talking about how to future-proof your career in the age of AI. If you're feeling a little on edge or anxious about how AI is going to affect your job and the job market, you're not being paranoid, you're being perceptive. AI is here to stay, and it is going to make a massive, massive difference on the job market and pretty much the working world as we know it. But the thing is that it's not going to happen quickly or overnight. It's going to happen very subtly. Goldman Sachs estimates that AI could affect 300 million jobs globally. That's 1 in 5 jobs being majorly affected by AI. So instead of panicking, we are going to take a look at which types of jobs are most at risk and what you can do to future-proof your career. First of all, before we dive in, I just want to say that there's no real way to future-proof your career. And that's because we can't predict what's going to happen in the future. We can't predict if there's going to be a recession or a pandemic. I mean, last year I made a video on the most stable jobs, and federal jobs was one of them. And obviously now, a federal job is a very insecure and unstable job. And it's not to say that it'll be that way forever, but right now that's how it is. So while you can't future-proof your career or your job, you can absolutely future-proof yourself. And that's making yourself adaptable, open to change, because the people who are very up against AI and thinking that it's not going to change the job market, so they're just going to ignore it, those are the people who are going to be left behind. And I don't mean like left behind like forever, like obviously everybody adapts, but if you're an early adopter and a quick mover on AI, that could pay dividends for not just you, but for your kids' kids' kids. So this video is all about getting ahead of AI, and I'm going to tell you what you need to know to future-proof yourself and your career. Companies are already firing and laying off thousands and thousands of workers, and secretly behind the scenes, automating and augmenting their jobs. This new age of AI is not about robots replacing you overnight. People's tasks are going to be replaced quietly and disappearing very slowly. And so we're not going to see a company say, hey, we fired this guy and we're using AI in his place. Instead, you're going to see that company just stop hiring for that role. AI doesn't need to replace your entire job to disrupt your career. It only needs to replace the parts that make you valuable. Only a few jobs, like maybe 1% of all jobs out there, can be completely replaced by AI right now. But what AI is going to do is augment. Augment means that you will be needing to use AI for part of your job. So the company is going to want you to use AI systems to do your job more efficiently, productive, and error-free. So let's talk about the 5 careers that are the most at risk of disappearing because of AI. These are jobs with high task repetition, they're data heavy or have rules-based logic, they're easy to digitize or automate, and they're pretty much already being replaced. So there's some early indicators there. Number 1 is definitely customer service reps. Gartner says that 80% of customer interactions could be handled by chatbots in the next 3 years. And we're already seeing it all over the place. What website doesn't have a chatbot? But it's going to be taken even a step further. You know how when you're chatting with a bot and you're like, I just want to talk to a person? There's already AI in place, many companies doing this, where you can call them and talk with an actual person that is pretty much indistinguishable from an actual human and get your problem fixed. It's actually a really lucrative industry to go into right now. So if you're trying to pivot from customer service, go towards those companies because they're about to make a lot of money. So if you're working in a customer service role, it's really important to know your soft skills. I would look towards pivoting towards customer experience strategy, UX UI design and research, and AI training roles. Number 2 is data entry and admin assistance. This is one of the most vulnerable categories for being taken over by AI. Any jobs that require a lot of click-clacking, data input, kind of busy work like that, like mindless work, yeah, that's all going to be taken over by AI in the next 5 years. This is why I was always really against the whole like, just get a busy job, just get a lazy girl job, because those jobs are the first jobs to be automated. If you are not providing unique value to a company that a computer cannot very soon replicate, you are going to be first on the chopping block, and that is the most unstable way to have your career. You want to focus on becoming a specialist and doing something that not many people can do. And whether or not you use AI to do that is up to you. Even before this huge wave of AI, we've already seen lots of softwares come in and replace administrative tasks. Softwares like Calendly do scheduling. Firefly's AI takes notes during meetings. And OpenAI's ChatGPT-4 is already being used by HR and hiring departments to summarize resumes, process forms, do surveys, and do all that stuff that a lot of the times humans had to manually do. So if you're working in data entry or like an admin job, I would highly recommend upskilling into something like project coordination, executive level operations, and AI implementation support. That's huge. Number 3, this is a category that might surprise you, but paralegals and legal assistants. I know. The idea of AI replacing lawyers in legal jobs is mind-blowing. But my friends, it is here. I have seen the software myself. Of course, the human job of a lawyer isn't going anywhere, but any job that requires you to know a wealth of information, so like a doctor, software engineer, lawyer, these are things that AI is going to be smarter at than any human. Harvard Business Review reported that AI could perform legal tasks with 90% accuracy, and it's faster and cheaper than humans. Of course, you still need lawyers to actually practice law. So what lawyers and law firms will start doing is start using AI to do the busy work so that they can focus on arguing their cases. There are already tons of startups popping up in the legal space, and although the legal industry may not be the earliest adopters to things like AI, I think that they are going to adopt this technology because it's simply too smart and it makes too few errors to ignore. So if you're currently working as a paralegal or legal assistant, don't be scared. I mean, maybe you're working at an old school place and they don't really want to bother with AI at all, but I would keep in your back pocket just a few career pivots in case you need them. Maybe you want to lean more into your client communication skills or your case strategy, or maybe you want to go to law school yourself. But any part of your job that requires like reading or like tedious tasks on the computer, those can all get automated and a lot sooner than you think. Number 4 is accountants and bookkeepers. Again, these jobs are not going to be replaced by AI, but accountants and bookkeepers who use AI to augment their work are going to beat the ones that don't. The IRS is already using AI to detect fraud. Huge softwares like QuickBooks and Xero are already using AI to offer more products to their customers. I mean, 50 years ago, accountants and bookkeepers would work with physical paperwork and filing cabinets. And then they started to work with computers. And now they're going to work with computers that are augmented with AI. So it's just the way that things progress. So if you're working as an accountant or a bookkeeper, I would recommend just welcoming AI into your life, finding out ways that you can use it to make your work more efficient and error-free, and then considering beefing up maybe your consulting side or your strategy or planning so that you can offer your clients more of that human touch, so that they don't want to just use QuickBooks or just use Xero or just use whatever accounting software to do their bookkeeping, but instead they want a human touch. And number 5, content writers. If you're somebody who has gotten by writing blogs, copy, SEO, metadata, all that stuff, you are definitely at a threat level 10 of being replaced by AI. Over half of marketers already use AI to write copy, and I'm not saying AI is good at doing that. I don't think AI can ever replace a truly great copywriter. But when it comes to just writing content, writing blog posts, writing descriptions, AI is absolutely already doing that, and it's not half bad. So again, you want to have that human touch. If you're somebody who's writing content and that's what you do for a living, think of an angle. Start a Substack. Have an editorial strategy. When you're selling your services, sell yourself as a human being, putting a human touch to your content. Because otherwise people will think, oh, well, I can just use AI to do this. And honestly, they probably can. But one thing AI can't do is be a human. AI can't hop on a call and talk through the client's ideas. So these interpersonal soft skills are where you're going to thrive. One last category that AI is going to augment that a lot of people aren't talking about is medical, healthcare, hospitals. AI can now detect cancer more accurately than humans can, which is really exciting for, humanity, but it's also going to change a lot of people's jobs who rely on, detecting and radiology and all that stuff. Medical terms. Basically anybody who looks at something and studies something and tries to find a diagnosis or, something like that, yeah, AI is going to get really good at doing that. I've talked to tons of people who are working in the healthcare space, and it's incredible what they're doing. However, it is going to change a lot of jobs in the healthcare space. So lastly here, let's talk about what you can do about this. Like I mentioned, companies are going to come out and say, hey, we're replacing thousands of jobs with AI. Instead, they're just going to subtly do that and then stop hiring for roles. And what that means for the future of the workforce, I don't know. But I have theories. Would you like to hear my theories? No, I'm pretty optimistic about technology as long as there's good people at the forefront. You have to have smart people leading us into this new age of technology. Computers had Bill Gates. What a guy, started a foundation, gave lots of his money away, pretty much an unproblematic billionaire, hard to come by these days. And it looks like we have Sam Altman at OpenAI, which people seem to like. But you have to keep your eye on the ball because otherwise the robots are going to take over and destroy all of us. And I just want to say for the record, I think robots are so cool. AI is so fun and cute. I love her. I want to be more like her. Don't kill me, robots. No, really though, Sam Altman did just say that we need to stop saying please and thank you to ChatGPT. This isn't the end of your career. I'm not somebody to sensationalize and catastrophize and make you all scared for views and likes. I do just want my followers, my besties, to be prepared for what is already here. AI will not take your job, but somebody using AI will probably take your job eventually. So, what can you do? Here's what I recommend. Take the industry that you work in and figure out where AI is being used in the space. Play around with the most popular AIs. I'm gonna give you some resources to help you get started. So first, go play around with ChatGPT. OpenAI's ChatGPT is a great tool to use. You can create a little custom GPT for yourself and kind of have it as your little assistant. That's actually how I made this video. I used ChatGPT to help me research for this video. Number 2, Claude. This is from Anthropic. People are really loving this AI. Of course, you have Google's Gemini. Microsoft Copilot is huge if you're working in a corporate setting that works on Microsoft. Perplexity AI is really great if you want to like deeply research something. It's awesome for that. And if you're looking to maybe use this opportunity to pivot into tech and like get a higher paying, cushier job, now is the time. You can go to IBM Skills Build, Google Certificates, Coursera. Any of these companies are going to have trainings that you can get involved in. So like AI trainer, prompt engineer, AI ethicist, like there are so many cool jobs out there. So there's a lot more that I could say on AI, but I'm going to keep it there for now. Put any questions down in the comments. Maybe I'll make another video on it as AI continues to progress. And remember, you got this, and I'll see you next time. I designed a quiz that pairs you with your ideal career based off of your personality and lifestyle preferences. It's 30 questions, it's 100% free. Go over to adviceerin.com/quiz to take it today. And every week, I send out a handwritten email with a piece of motivational advice and a communication tip. So if you'd like to join over 200,000 readers, head over to hyperhelpful.com. You're doing great, I'm proud of you, and remember, you got this.